Welcome back. Earlier in the show, we learned a bit about Ayurveda from Chef Devon. Now it's time to learn about its connection to yoga with Seth. So, Seth, you're going to take us through a sun salutation, a yoga flow. But first, tell me a little bit about how Ayurveda and yoga mesh together.
So yoga and Ayurveda are sort of sister sciences, and yoga provides the spiritual and psychological foundation to develop your Ayurveda application from there. Okay. So essentially, if you want to look at a holistic approach to longevity, you want to practice yoga and Ayurveda together.
Okay. So you're eating the foods, you're doing the movements, you're doing the breath work. It all is a one package.
Exactly. So for today, we're going to focus on Surya Namaskar. And Surya Namaskar is almost every yoga tradition, this is the foundation of it. So even if you don't know it, you've probably done it before in a yoga class. Most modern classes are based on this.
Yes.
It's used for warm-up, or the whole class is structured around Surya Namaskar.
Yes.
I also think it's a great set of exercises to master if you want to develop a self-practice. Because I think sometimes when people get to the mat, they're like, oh, what should I do? Right? And I think this solves that question, because you can get to the mat and you know exactly what you want to do. And what's beautiful about it, too, is that it really brings breath and movement together. That's what I love about yoga. Is that each movement has a specific inhale or exhale that you do, and that's how the whole flow comes together. So let's move through it.
Yeah, I miss yoga in my life, and I'm happy you're joining us, Dev.
Yeah.
It's so good. Yeah. Are you a yogi? Do you do it regularly?
Again, I was raised with these things in my life, and one of the principles of Ayurveda is rise with the sun, and this is Surya Namaskar, sun salutation.
Beautiful.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Absolutely. Surya Namaskar Air. So standing at the top of the mat, your feet are hip-width distance apart, nice and grounded. You want to get that sense of connection to the earth. You're looking towards the sun. You have the sun, the earth, feeling alive in the morning. With an inhale, reach the arms up, looking between the hands as your palms touch. On the exhale, diving forward all the way down, coming into a forward fold, Uttanasana. As you come up halfway, inhale, hands on shins, flat back. Grip the mat with your toes. Exhale, plant the palms onto the mat. Take a step back into plank. Using that same exhale to bend the elbows, and then inhale, push forward from the ankles, rising up. Knees can be on or off the mat. As you lift the chest, look up. Exhale to lift the seat, tuck your toes under, coming into downward facing dog. 5 full breaths here as you spread your fingers, pushing down into the palms, driving your chest back, maybe pedaling the feet if that feels good. Stretching out the backs of your legs here, maybe moving the hips a little side to side. Continue to move the body in ways that feel good. Continue breathing. Lengthening into the back body from the fingers to your shoulders, head to your tailbone. On the next breath in, let's bend the knees looking ahead. As you exhale, transition to the top of the mat. Stepping, hopping, your choice. Inhale, come up halfway, hands on shins, flat back. Exhale, bend the knees. Soften into your forward bend. On the next breath in, push through your feet, rise all the way up to standing. Palms touch, looking between the hands. Exhale, lower the hands down through chest center. So that's a whole sun salutation. Surya Namaskar A from start to finish.
Okay, so at home, I forgot to remind you, do this with us. If you put on your comfy clothes, we'd love for you to go through the flow with you, because how does this feel when you usually go through this sun salutation flow? I'll ask you first.
I feel energy.
Yeah.
I feel recharged. I feel like I need a bowl of khichdi.
Yeah. Seth, you too?
Yeah, I honestly love Surya Namaskar. It's one of the foundations for my yoga practice. And this is actually how I started learning yoga many years ago, was through the Surya Namaskar.
Shall we go through it one more time?
Let's go through one more time. And I'll just talk about some common sort of mistakes that people made.
Sure.
Okay, so from the top, inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale for planting your palms back into plank. You want to feel nice and strong here. Hips are level with your shoulders. As you exhale, lower down. On the inhale, sometimes people throw their head way back, which puts pressure on your cervical spine. You want to keep your head nice and neutral. On the exhale, you're going to lift and send your seat up. In downward dog, you want to avoid straightening your legs right away. So you want to start out with your knees bent, so you get your lower back to lengthen. Think about lengthening your spine first, and then from that place, you can then start to push down towards the heels. But don't worry about straightening your legs right away. On the next breath in, let's bend the knees looking ahead. As you exhale, transition to the top of the mat. Come up halfway as you inhale, flat back, gripping the mat with your toes. Exhale. And as you inhale, come all the way up. I'll quickly mention something that you want to avoid doing is from downward dog to not come to your mat and come straight to standing. You want to give your head and heart a chance to be at the same height so your blood flow can reset. So as you come up, you're not upsetting your blood flow too quickly.
Don't pass out.
Don't pass out. And I do that wrong
dizzy
every single time. Okay, let's go. We're going to break, so we'll do one more on the way out. We'll be right back. Stay with us.